Welcome to the Friday update. So the Thursday previews numbers are in for the 3 wide releases that are going to be in theaters this weekend. Let's see how those movies did. Alright, let's start off with Gemini Man, the sci-fi action thriller starring Will Smith, and he teamed up with Ang Lee on this one. And the greatest or the biggest selling point for this movie is the high resolution frame rate, 120 frames per second. But unfortunately, this is a movie that to get the full experience, right? Only a third of the movie theaters, I believe, in the nation, could display this frame rate. So I guess like a lot of the majority of the audience will miss out on what makes this movie so special. As such, right? So this movie in Thursday previews pulled in 1.6 million, and that figure is probably good for a 25 to 30 million opening, which is what I said this movie will probably open to, in my preview, in a previous podcast, if you haven't caught it. Reviews wise, this movie is not that well reviewed currently on Rotten Tomatoes, 30% on the tomato meter. This number could potentially drop or it could edge up, we don't know, but right now 30% with so many reviews, that does not bode well for Gemini Man. Like I said in my preview, the trailer didn't really offer much other than a older Will Smith fighting his younger self, and what I've seen didn't really impress me, and I get the sense that a lot of people felt that way. I mean, reviews, well, not everything, get a good sense of what the critics thought of the movie, and they have low opinions. And the budget for this movie is 138 million, which is kind of high, but then again, a movie that doesn't perform here doesn't mean that it's gonna bomb, right? There's still the overseas market, and Will Smith is a big name overseas still. Alright, up next is the Addams Family. This is a movie that had its preview at around 4 p.m. Normally, the previews start at 7. This one started a little bit earlier because, of the family audience, right? So in Thursday previews, this movie pulled in 1.25 million, which is good for somewhere in the ballpark of a 20 to 25 million opening. I said this movie could probably, open to 15 to 20 million because of the, previous Addams Family movies, live action. That didn't really bring in a huge audience, right? The first movie opened to 24 million, the sequel opened to 14 million, right? And which goes to show you that there's not a lot of built-in audience for the Addams Family. But this one is animated, which kind of changed things up a bit because this one's targeted toward the kids. And with kids, the standards are usually lower. Right now, reviews wise, the movie is not that well reviewed. 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I suspect this movie could probably drop a bit. Numbers typically drop instead of going up, but there are some rare cases where the numbers will edge up. But then again, like I said, it started low, right? This movie started low, but the Addams Family for the target audience, reviews is not going to really impact this movie that much. Alright, finally we have Jaxie, a comedy starring Adam Devine, who has to, fight his smartphone. A smartphone that got too smart and he has to deal with it, right? So Jaxie is Devine's first movie in a leading role. You know him from the Pitch Perfect movies, and he's okay in his small part there. As the lead in Jaxie, right? Like I said, the problem with this movie with Jaxie is that if you watch the trailer, right, you've seen the movie, and and more importantly, it doesn't have any big laughs, right? It seems more like a skit than a movie, and that is a problem with it. But this problem is probably made for cheap, and I pulled in about 235K in Thursday previews. We suggest that this movie will open somewhere, between 2 to 5 million, probably at the lower end of that. The problem with Devine is that he's not well known. Like I said in my preview, that I put him on the same level as a Jason Bateman, except that Jason Bateman has a track record. Devine doesn't have that yet, and he's not gonna bring people in yet, right? Alright, that's it for this video. Tune in next time. Until then, take care. Bye bye.